Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to our English class. Today we're going to speak about clauses of concession. Clauses of concession are introduced by the conjunctions although, even though, while, whereas, and prepositions despite, in spite of. These words help us to introduce the contrast between two parts of the sentence or express an unexpected result. Although the task was difficult, they did it in time. Несмотря на то, что задание было тяжелым, они выполнили его вовремя. Although the task was difficult, they did it in time. While he was a naughty boy, his sister was very reserved. Несмотря на то, что он был балованным мальчиком, его сестра была очень сдержанной. While he was a naughty boy, his sister was very reserved. Despite much homework, she helps her mother about the house. Несмотря на большое домашнее задание, она помогает маме по дому. Despite much homework, she helps her mother about the house. Note, we use commas to separate this clause from the rest of the sentence. Despite these words mean the same, there are some differences in their use. Let's discuss it in details. I would divide them in two groups. The group of conjunctions, although, even though, while, whereas, and the group of prepositions, despite, in spite of. Let's speak about the conjunctions first. As you can see, the words although, even though, have the same meaning. They all introduce the idea which contrasts with the main clause. Although is more formal than though. Even though is stronger than although and though. Let's sum up. If you want to sound more informal, you must use though. If you want to emphasize something, to set a stress on something, you must use even though. Although is more formal than though. After these conjunctions, we use the clause with the subject and a verb. The clause with these conjunctions can come before or after the main clause. Here are some examples. Although you didn't learn these words by heart, you got a good mark. Хотя ты не выучил эти слова наизусть, ты получил хорошую оценку. This sentence sounds more formal. Though I didn't learn these words by heart, I got a good mark. This sentence sounds informal. I got a good mark even though I didn't learn these words by heart. This sentence sets the stress. Now let's speak about while and whereas, which are also conjunctions. We can use while and whereas to say that something in the subordinate clause contrasts with something in the main clause. They are used to show how one person, thing, or place is different from another. They have the same meaning, but whereas is more formal. After these conjunctions, we use the clause with the subject and a verb. The clause with these conjunctions can come before or after the main clause. Here are some examples. While my father is strong and tall, I am short and weak. Хотя мой отец сильный и высокий, я низкий и слабый. While my father is strong and tall, I am short and weak. Lisa has long brown hair, while her sister has fair haircut. У Лизы длинные темные волосы, в то время как у ее сестры светлая короткая стрижка. Lisa has long brown hair, while her sister has fair haircut. I hope you still remember about two prepositions, despite and in spite of. They are also used in the subordinate clauses of concession. We can use the prepositions despite and in spite of to talk about contrast. Despite and in spite of mean the same, but despite is more formal. It is important to remember, after despite and in spite of, you must use a noun or a pronoun, this or that, or ing form of a verb. These clauses can be before or after the main clause. Here are some examples. We decided to go to the cinema despite the rain. Мы решили пойти в кино, несмотря на дождь. We decided to go to the cinema in spite of the rain. She had a headache, but despite this, she went to work. У нее болела голова, но несмотря на это, она пошла на работу. She had a headache, but in spite of this, she went to work. Despite having a well-paid job, he always has no money. Несмотря на то, что у него хорошо оплачиваемая работа, у него всегда нет денег. In spite of having a well-paid job, he always has no money. Before we start doing an exercise, let's sum up. So, you can use although, though, even though, while, whereas, and then a subject and a verb after them. But if you use the prepositions despite or in spite of, you have to use a noun or a pronoun, this or that, or ing form of a verb. Now, let's practice to make sentences with the clause of concession. There is an example for you. Combine two sentences to make one sentence with the clause of concession. She knew how to cook. She said she didn't. Though she knew how to cook, she said she didn't. Frank went to the cinema even though he wasn't feeling well. In spite of being healthy, she always complains. Whereas he's a famous singer, his son doesn't like singing. Despite arriving 2 hours later, Tom didn't feel sorry. In spite of the rain, we started to play basketball. I started going for a run in the morning, even though I do not enjoy it. He likes eating meat, while his girlfriend is a vegetarian. That's all for today. The lesson is over. Thanks for being with us. Goodbye.